Hello, welcome to Yin Yoga. So today, we're going to get into all of our juicy places. We'll also get into the feet and the hips a little bit differently. So in a moment after our opening, we'll come into a dangle and the Mawasana Squat, which is the wide-legged squat. Some people like to use blocks to help them get into the dangle as we transition. It can also help you have a little bit of support while we're in that Mawasana Squat. I'll also give you a wall option and an away the wall option if coming into the deeper squat is not where you need to be today for any reason. So that being said, we will come to our opening here. So find a nice comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. Thinking about the ears, the shoulders, and the hips in alignment. We're going to zip up from pubic bone to behind the navel or belly button into the spine. We'll take a slight tuck in the chin. And we'll begin our practice here. So as you be here in the space, notice if there's anywhere that you could soften. So I always have a tendency to grip around the hips when I sit. So I'm working on relaxing through that. Maybe your shoulders, your jaw need a little bit more release. And then maybe bringing that attention to your breath. So as you inhale through the nose, maybe we can find some expansion in that rib cage. And slowly release. We'll do that one more time, and then we're going to change this up. So big inhale through the nose and expand. Slowly exhale. Go. Good. So at this time, we're going to have an audible exhale. So when you make that audible sigh with your exhale, just think about letting something else just go with it. So something that's been aggravating you today or over the past week, just let that go through the breath. So from here, good. We'll take that big inhale and expand. And we'll audibly let that out. Good. Big inhale and expand. And we'll audibly let that out. One more time. Big inhale and expand. Good. Feeling better already. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Inhale, reach, and lengthen, nice and tall. Touching palms together. Exhale, hands and heart center. Creating an intention for your practice. What would you like to give or receive? You can also dedicate this to someone or something. We did a little bit of a letting go breath of a moment ago. Maybe letting go of something not serving you would be a good intention. And once we have that set, we'll inhale, take the palms up overhead, reach. And then on the exhale, we're going to take a side bend right into the left. I'm keeping both sits bones rooted. I'm really reaching through that right side. Your gaze can be wherever your head or neck needs it to be. Good. Inhale. Exhale, engage the obliques, your side abs as you come up. Inhale. Exhale, we'll take that right into the other side. Good. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to come back up. We're going to go into that again, and we'll add on. So big reach and lengthen, and then exhale, take it over. You decide if staying here is best for you. You might choose instead to open up towards the ceiling, getting that little stretchy, or you might choose a C curve roll, forehead in the direction of the knee, but not touching. Breathe and expand that rib cage wherever you're going here. And then from here, when you're ready, inhale and lengthen. Exhale, coming back up. Reach. Inhale. Exhale, taking it back over other side. You choose staying here. Maybe you want to open up towards the ceiling, or maybe you'd like to have that C curve roll. Find yours. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, coming back up. Good. We're just going to go into one gentle rotation in both directions. So big inhale, exhale, rotate to the left. I'm going to lower my arms, rolling my shoulders back, maybe looking a little bit more behind me. Breathing and expanding. And then from here, inhale and lift. Exhale, center. Inhale, exhale, other side. Taking arms down, rolling the shoulders back, maybe looking a little bit more behind you. Inhale and lift. Exhale, coming back to center. Good. I'm just going to do a little bit of a wrist roll here. Good. When you get about shoulder height, we'll reverse that direction. Good. And then from here, I'm going to take my arms back out to the side. Good. Find your rotation. Good. And then palms up, hands to shoulders. We'll move forward and back. And let's take this movement slow here. So really think about when you take your elbows forward, a separation of the shoulder blades. Feel that stretchy happening back there. And then as you open, maybe thinking about opening through the chest a little bit more, touching the shoulder blades behind you and moving forward and back. Good. Always, though, honoring your body and moving at your body's range of motion. And that doesn't mean that you will look like me. Good. And then from here, I'm going to take my elbows forward. I'm just going to go into some nice circles. Good. And then let's reverse that direction. Good. And then from here, good. We'll just shake it, shake it, shake it. Good. Get any little movement here that your body's asking you to do. That might be a hip hinge, might be a little neck stretch or circle, might be a spinal roll here. Whatever works for you will work for me. And once you've done that and you're ready, we're going to come to all fours. And we're going to start with a little bit of a child's pose. So I'm just going to move my blanket out of the way here. Now, I did mention dangle, and you might want to use blocks to help you get into there. I'm going to have a block on each side here. So the dangle we'll do after child's pose. So because we're using these blocks to help us, we're also going to give you an way to use these in child's pose. So knees can be together as wide as a mat. You can take this the traditional way, arms long in front of you, hands by the hips, you choose. Now, if you want to get into the chest and the armpits a little bit here, you can take your arms up here and just kind of settle in a little bit. Your forehead may or may not touch the floor, so find what you need. We'll try to be here for a couple minutes. Now, make it an active child's pose here. So you want to expand the rib cage as you breathe, and our belly button is in. Now I've got my arms on the blocks. You can also put your elbows there. You also want to give your body space to move as it settles in. So maybe not coming to your max right off the bat. Good, we're about halfway there. So especially to those that use blocks on this one, just like when we do the hips, pain, numbness, tingling, burning, not normal sensations. So if you feel those, you want to back off until you don't. Nope, 30 seconds. Breathe and expand. Come back to that intention. Letting go of something no longer serving you or something different that you came up with. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Depending on where you went here, carefully come out of there. Good. And then from here, I'm just going to come up to all fours, and I'm going to bring my blocks up in here. So I'm going to use them to help me come into a dangle. Now I'm going to show this to you in a couple ways. So you can come back this way, kind of come back, lean forward. You're using the blocks to help you get there. Some of you, that might not be a good way, especially if you're sensitive in the knees. So maybe you need to step back into a downward facing dog first, and then with bent knees, walk yourself back into your dangle. So you find your dangle in the way that's best for you to get there. I'm just going to come up forward a little bit here. My feet are about hip width apart. I'm going to keep a little bend in my knees here so I don't want to lock it out. And then I'm just going to let gravity take over. So hands can come to the floor. If they don't touch the floor, maybe they want to come to a block. Maybe it would feel good to you if you had your head resting on a block. So there's always different ways. So find what you need. And I'm actually going to try this one because this actually feels pretty good. We'll be 2 minutes here. Some people also like to hold opposite elbow, getting additional traction. So be where you need to be. Breathe into the back body, expand that rib cage. You relax through the face. We're in the final minute. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So from here, I'm just going to release my elbows. Good. So from here, we're going to come into the Mawasana Squat. So I've got my hands on the floor. Your knees are probably going to already be bent. So I'm going to show you the deep one first and then a modification second. So I'm just going to take my legs out to the side here while I'm here. My hips, knees, and toes are turning out away from the body. You do want to try and keep your heels grounded. So some people need to take your legs out wider in order for that to work. And then I'm just going to kind of slowly, carefully come in here. Now, for me today, I would have a block under my tailbone. Remember, you can also have a stack here. And then maybe this is my Mawasana Squat. So to give you a different view. Okay, maybe here, maybe this is not for you today. So if this is not for you today, I'm going to give you some other options. So remember too, if you're down here and you need to come out before the time, take your hands down and just lengthen. But some people shouldn't come too deep here. And then so if that's to you, maybe you don't have a wall or something like that. So you just take a nice little squat right here. And that might be your Mawasana Squat today. Okay. And then if you need to come out early, just lengthen and press through. If some people need the support of a sturdy piece of furniture or a wall, so maybe you come to that wall. And then if balance is the issue, as you become more open, you can continue to let yourself slide down that wall. So be where you need to be here. So I'm going to come into my larger one. Good. And starting now, hopefully you're not still there, but starting now, we're going to try 3 minutes. I take that back. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. The next one is 3 minutes. So even if you're supported, whether that's the wall support, you're doing a standing up version, you're on a block like me, maybe you don't need a block and that's great too. Be active. So think about zipping up from the pubic bone and behind the navel. Think about a drawing up and in of the sexual organs. Belly button is in. Staying with the breath. Coming back to that intention. We are getting ready to enter the final minute. So what do you need to let go of? In my case, that is taking a break from news for a while because certain things were just starting to make me angry and I didn't like that. So that might be the same for you. Maybe it's something else. Is it toxic food? A toxic relationship doesn't always have to be a significant other. It can also be a friend or a work relationship. Good. From here, when you're ready, if you were standing in your Mawasana, just come back to standing and just kind of shake out a leg or two. Those of us that went deeper, take your hands forward, get into the heels, and you're just going to lift here. Good. Those of you that were standing in the way that's best for you, come back down to the floor. Good. I'm just going to carefully come back down to my knees here. And then we're going to come into melting heart. So melting heart, also known as puppy. So you can do this with a block here, a pillow, a folded blanket, or maybe you don't need one today. So from here, it's similar to child's pose, but it's really not the same. So from here, I want to try and keep my hips and my knees in alignment. Good. Some of you might come to the forearms, and then from the forearms, shining the heart forward like you would do maybe in a cat-cow, and maybe that's your melting heart today. Others are going to place a folded blanket or a block under here as you take your arms more forward. Good. Notice how my hips stay over my knees. And then those of you that don't need that prop will come to the ground. Or maybe you need a prop in the beginning and then towards the end you don't need it. So from here, if you're coming to the ground, your forehead can come there. That's where I recommend you to be if you've got some neck issues. If you're secure in your neck, you can take your chin down. I'm going to have my forehead down here today. Good. And then from here, good. I'm coming in, I'm shining my heart to the floor. Breathe and expand. We're going to try for 3 minutes. Belly button is in tight here. Good. Stay with expansion. We're in the second minute. We're getting ready to come into the final minute. Remember, you're welcome to come out at any time that your body needs you to. Don't stay where you can't breathe, steady and at ease, or you can't be steady and at ease in this pose. "30 seconds. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you came down onto your chin, take it to the forehead. Good. From here, if you went on to a prop, we'll remove that. I'm going to come back on all fours. I'm going to move my timer out of the way. I'm going to come belly down here. And once I come belly down, I'm going to make a little recovery pillow with my hands. My feet or legs are about as wide as my mat space, and I'm just going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. From here, we're going to come into half frog. We did this last week as a prep for full frog, and that felt so nice. I thought everybody would like to do that again. So from here, all you're going to do, and we're going to do this one leg at a time. So I'm just going to start on my right side because that happens to be the side that faces you. I'm just going to bring that knee up, and I'm pulling that knee in line with the hip. So I've got that 90 degrees, and then knee to ankle here. My toes are pointing away from the body. And then if you need to cushion or prop something up here, you can. But I'm going to be right here. We'll be here for about a minute and a half. So breathe and expand. If it's comfortable to you, maybe lengthen that low body just a little bit. So when I mean by low body here, lengthen through the tailbone just a smidge. Good, less than a minute left. Come back to your intention. Letting go is your intention. Maybe it's a bad habit that you need to work on letting go of. It takes a while to drop a bad habit. So if you're considering that, it's okay if you have to consistently restart. It takes a while. It took a while for you to get into the habit. It'll take a while for you to change the habit. Good. And from here, whenever you're ready, good. Carefully, just take that leg back long. We're wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now you're fine where you are. I'm just going to come up and turn around to the other side so that my back is not to you as we go into half frog on the other side. So if you need to bring in some kind of cushion or something here, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I'm going to get nice and situated here on my mat, and then I'm going to let my left knee pull up here to right in line with the hip. So my hip and knee are in alignment. My knee and ankle are in alignment. My toes facing away. Good. You can make a little recovery pillow with your hands. Good. Maybe look in the opposite direction that you did before. We're getting ready to come into final 30 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great work. Carefully release and come out of there. We'll make a wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. And from here, when you're ready, I'm going to take my hands under my shoulders. I'm going to carefully come up. Good. Now, as you transition into all fours, if you need to take a few little cat-cows here, if that would feel good, just take a few of those. Good. And then from here, I'm going to come to a seat. Now, I'm going to bring my blanket back in here to sit on for the seat. Good. And then we will come to half butterfly. So I'm going to start by taking my left leg out to the side, and I'm going to bring my right foot in here. Good. Now remember, this leg, you don't necessarily want to take it all the way out to your widest. So give it a little bit of space. And then root the sits bones down a little bit here. So I'm going to give you a couple opportunities here. Some of you are just going to take your arms long and forward, and you're going to hinge forward, and that's going to be you on the side. Others are going to get a little bit more into the shoulders if you want that. So if you're going to follow me and come into the shoulders, take your arms out to the side. Your right arm is going to cross on top of the left. Good. Find a hug or find your wrap. Good. And then from here, we'll try this one for 3 minutes, knowing you can come out of here at any time. We're going to lift and lengthen. Inhale. Exhale, hinge and fold. Remember, you can always put a bolster, a prop, or a cushion in here to hold you in the beginning or the entire time. And I'm breathing and expanding here. So I'm letting my body ease in. Also noting, if you are tight in your hamstrings, keep a little bend in that left knee. And you can always roll up a blanket or a dish towel or something to put under there for support so you don't have to think about it. We're in the second minute. Breathe and expand. Let go of a negative thought or some kind of negative self-talk that's come into your mind today. With each breath, let it go. Good. We're in the final minute. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So from here, I'm going to come back just a little bit. I had my arms twisted here. Before I come up and out, I'm going to undo those arms here. And then once I've done that, then I'm going to use my hands to take me out of that fold. Good. Now from here, I'm just going to do a gentle rotation towards my right and a gentle rotation towards my left. And then we're going to carefully take both legs forward. And I'm just going to let them shake it, shake it, shake it. Okay. We're going to take that into the other side. So now I'm going to take my right leg out to the right. My left foot's going to come in. Good. I'm just going to reset myself here. I got out of it a little bit on my folded blanket. So from here, good. Remember, you have the option to take your arms forward and just hinge forward without the arm wrap. Those that want to do the wrap, arms out to the side. This time your left arm is going to be on top of the right. You can find a hug or you can find that eagle wrap. Find yours. And then sitting up nice and tall, big inhale. Exhale, we'll hinge and fold. Good. Remember, you can prop yourself up here with a bolster or cushion or folded blankets, maybe blocks, depending on what you have. Give your body the space to gently settle in. And as a reminder, pain, numbness, tingling, burning, feel any of those anywhere, carefully back off until you do not. We're in the second minute. We're in the final minute. Breathe and expand. Again, think about letting go any negative thoughts. Maybe holding patterns. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, if you came all the way down like me with twisty arms, carefully undo your arms first. Good, and then once you've got that support, use your hands to carefully press you up out of there. Good, so once more, we'll take a gentle rotation to the left. We'll take a gentle rotation to the right. Good. So I'm just going to take both arms forward. Whew. I'm going to grab my bolster. We're going to let go from the side body and holding patterns from the heart chakra here. So if you don't have a bolster cushion, you can do this with stacked blankets. You can put a blanket over some stacked blocks here to make that more comfortable. But we're going to side lie. So we'll just come right this in. Good. So I'm going to start that sitting up nice and close to my bolster. And then from here, I'm just going to sideways fold over. Good. Now you can bring in a pillow here or something if you need that too. But as I start to come in, I'm going to take my legs long. You can have them bent if you need to. I'm going to reach my top arm up and over, and I'm going to give it just a little tap. Good. So there's the cough that I always talk about that happens for me on this side when I try to open up here. So hopefully that's just a one-time thing. But from here, try to breathe and expand. So let's go. We call it heart chakra association because the heart chakra is right here, as well as the heart space. But we hold a lot in the chest and in the rib cage, and we don't always realize that. And it's different from side to side. So I often cough on this side. I don't always on the other. Excuse me. Good. Letting go of a lot of things here that needed to get out of my body. So remember, I can't hear you. So if you need to cough, nobody else can hear you either. Everybody's unmuted or you're watching the recording later. So just let it out. Let your body get rid of what's not serving it. About 30 seconds from here. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So from here, you have a hand on the bolster, a hand on the floor. Be where you need to have it to be to help you come up out of the side bend. And as I come up, I'm just going to take a gentle counter side bend stretch over. Good. And then from here, we're going to take that to the other side. So I'm just going to move my bolster now to the other side. I'm going to swing my legs around here. So you always transition in the way that's best for you. Good. So I'm going to pull my bolster cushion here in close. And then from here, when you're ready, good. Carefully let yourself side lie over that support. Good. You can lengthen the legs a little bit here if you want to, or keep them bent. Top arm's going to come up and come over. Breathe and expand into that rib cage. And if you need to cough, then just let yourself cough. Or like me, just notice big differences between one side and the other. We're getting ready. Oh, there it goes. We're getting ready to enter the final minute here. I've often thought that teachers are always in Zen and we've arrived and we don't have any holding patterns or anything like that, but that is absolutely not true. We are people and we go through the stages of peopling and humanity every day like everybody else. We all experience different things. Get about 15 more seconds here. And 3, 2, and 1. Good. I'm going to take that top hand. I'm going to come here. I'm going to carefully bring myself back up. Good. And then once I'm up, I'm just going to come up and take a nice counter stretch. Good. Okay, so now we're going to come onto our back. We're going to do a nice long twist here before we come into final Shavasana. I know that I'm going to use this bolster today for my Shavasana. So I'm going to have it relatively close, or at least relatively close to my feet to grab and pull that in. So in the way that's best for you, to come onto your back. Good. And as you get down there, maybe do a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a windshield wiper, taking knees to one side and to the complete other. Maybe it's better for you to take your knees into your chest and kind of rock side to side for a bit. All right, now I'm going to give you 2 options here for your twist. You can, yes, how did it work? Yes, you can, option 1, you can take your right leg long, your left knee will come in, and you'll twist to the right. Okay, so it'll look like this. So that's option 1. Others are going to lift the hips, shift the hips to the left, cross left leg over right leg, arms out to the side, and let those knees come to the right. So find the one that works for you in this moment. And we're going to be here for 3 minutes. Notice as you take deeper inhales, deeper expansion in that rib cage, how your body might want to settle or sink a little bit deeper into this twist. And as long as there's no funny business happening in the low back or the hips, you can do that. You're in the 2nd minute. Notice if you've got any gripping or holding patterns here. I just caught myself in my hips. So if you experience that, just let it go. Good. Coming into the final minute. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Head will come back to center. Depending on how you feel, especially if you did crossing the legs, you can leave them crossed or you can uncross. You can always take one leg at a time back to center. Once you return back to center, carefully undo the legs. Good. I'm going to press my feet into the floor. I'm going to take my hips back center. I'm going to find a nice little windshield wiper here. I'm just letting things reset. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to take that to the other side. So if you're doing something a little bit more gentle and you just want to take that right knee into the chest, left leg long and roll over to the left side, feel free to take that one. Those of you that are going to follow me, press into the hips, shift the hips over to the right. Right leg is going to cross over the left leg. And then we're going to let those knees come to the left. Good. And we'll be here for 3 minutes. Breathe and expand. Again, noticing if the body wants to sink deeper. Good. Noticing if you're bringing in any holding patterns, could you release through the hips? Release the shoulders. We're coming in the second minute. We're halfway there. Good. Coming in the final minute. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So from here, same as the other side, carefully come out of here and come back to center in the way that's best for you. And then I took the wrap. So I'm going to undo. I'm going to plant my feet. I'm going to lift my hips. I'm going to take them back to center. And then I'm going to windshield wiper here. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll come into that Savasana. So I'm going to take a pillow here under my head. I'm going to use my feet and legs to pull that bolster cushion up and kind of get that in place. Good. So props are optional. You can also just let everything come long and open up. You can have a bend in the knees. You can be on your back. You can be on your belly. Be where you can be comfortable. And then once you're getting where you're going, see if you can make yourself about 10% more comfortable as you let go a little bit more here into the ground. And I'll leave you here for a few moments, practicing the hardest yoga pose of all, being still. And taking some deep breaths here. Choose stillness or gently take head and neck from side to side. Choose stillness or invite movement of fingers and toes. Choose stillness or maybe bringing knees into the chest, choosing to keep the upper body grounded, or maybe you want to lift it up for a full body hug. And choosing stillness, removing any props out of the way you may have used for your Savasana time. Taking legs long in front of you, arms long behind you, and reach and lengthen from the edge of the fingertips, the edge of the toes. Full body stretch, point and flex through the feet, bend and stretch through the hands, twirling wrists and ankles in one direction, and then in the other. And then from here, whenever you're ready, carefully bending in both knees, and you choose rolling over onto the right or left side, the side that works best for your body. And whenever you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat, maybe the same one you started with, maybe a different one. And so I'm going to bring my blanket back in here. Good. Finding that nice tall seat, ears, shoulders, and hips. Noticing how you feel now versus when we started. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Inhale, reach, 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 and lengthen, nice and tall, touching palms together. Exhale, hands and heart center. Reconnecting with that intention you made one more time. Letting go, or your own. We'll take our thumbs to our forehead for good and true thoughts. To our lips for good and kind words. into our hearts for open and living hearts, knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted, no gain is ever reversed. May you be safe. May you stay well. We have a wonderful day or evening and week ahead. Namaste.